And we're back with another deck profile post-Alliance Insight. We already showcased the power of the Mitsurugi Raziel deck, and if you're looking forward to more deck profiles post-Alliance Insight, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Today, we're going to be going over the powerhouse that is Malice. So many people think that this deck could be the best deck of the format. Thanks to the new March Hare and, of course, the Adignister package, this deck is looking stronger than ever. Plus, make sure you stick around to the end because we're going to be showcasing one of my favorite one-card combos this deck can do. The new format is looking so much fun to play, so let's get into it. Alright, so hopping into the deck, some things, of course, never change. We're going to be playing 2 copies of Dormouse, 2 copies of White Rabbit, and now I'm back up to 2 copies of the Chessy Cat, but one new addition is 3 copies of the new Malice P March Hare. I've seen a lot of debate on whether or not this card is a 2 of or a 3 of, and for me, at the end of the day, I don't think it's that relevant, but I want to see this card as soon as possible. This card is completely custom, and that's why I personally play 3. In case you don't know what it does, it's quick effect in the hand. You can special summon it by banishing a Malice card from your hand or graveyard during the main phase. So on your turn, you can use it as an extender, or of course on your opponent's turn, you can use it to proc some of your Malice names in the graveyard and start setting up more disruptions, even if you had a bunch of hand traps thrown at you early. When it's banished, rather than special summoning itself to the field like the other Malice monsters, it'll actually add any of your banished Malice cards back to your hand, and this includes itself. We'll showcase its power in the combo portion of the video, but another new card into the deck is Malice in the Mirror. This is an amazing quick play spell that can banish one of your Malices to negate one of your opponent's monster effects, so very good interruption. It's also technically something you can use like a board breaker, because again, you can banish the cards from your hand, so maybe you need names to get banished to come back and start extending. Its other effect is that whenever it's banished, you can banish any Malice card from your grave and then search one of the same card type from your deck to your hand. I genuinely try to search this as often as possible. It's a great interruption to add to your end board. I know there's a lot of combos that showcase banishing it off of our field spell, but I typically don't try to do that. But the last part of the Malice lineup that we play, of course, is the trap cards. You still play one of all 3, and this will make up the lineup for the deck. I think one of the craziest things about this deck is that March Hare isn't the only support it's received. Another engine that makes this deck insane is the Adignister package. We play 3 backup and 1 wizard. Again, another engine that players have debated cutting down to 2, but trust me, this card is completely custom, and when you pair it with a hand trap, it is a starter on its own, which will make full combo. Backup Adignister can special summon itself from the hand if you control a Cybers monster that's special from the extra deck. Whenever it is normaled or special summoned, you can add any Dark Cybers from your deck to your hand, and then you discard a card. Basically, what this means is it can get you access to all your Malice main deck cards, but also it gets you your extender in the form of Wizard, which, just like the backup, if you control a Cybers from the extra deck, you can special it from the hand, but if you do so, you can also special summon a Cybers from your graveyard in defense position at the same time. This little package is the craziest extension that this deck could ever ask for. Not only does this engine bridge into your Malice cards, but it helps you get more bodies to link climb in the process. One thing to note though is backup Adignister is a tuner as well. We don't synchro summon because we get locked into links very easily, but it is relevant for one of our extra deck cards. And then before we hop into the hand trap, some of the other one-ups we're playing, we have the 1 Gold Sark, the 1 Terraforming, and I play the 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent. These are for consistency, and of course Talents is just one of my favorite cards, so I love including it whenever I can. Now moving on to the hand traps, we do play a little bit of Bestial still. I'm playing 1 of each. I have a Magnuma, Drewsworm, and a Baldrake. Now that we have March Hare, you don't need to play as many Bestials, and you could even play less than we're playing now. Obviously, these are great interruptions against stuff like the Fiendsmith engine, but when you have hand traps thrown at you, these make for amazing extenders, being able to proc the Malice cards engraved to get even more bodies to play. At the end of the day, time will tell how many of these we're going to wind up playing, but they still serve an amazing purpose in this deck, and that's why I still opt to include them. But after that, one thing I'm doing is still playing 3 copies of Fualos. Post-Alliance Insight, a lot of the best decks can still make it to where you only draw 1 or 2 cards, but if I'm completely honest, that's what you want out of this card. It's not to get a bunch of cards, it's to make your opponent build a half board. With all the extensions with March Hare and the Adignisters, this deck plays into field so much better, it's so crazy. And for that reason exactly, I'm also playing 3 copies of Purelia in the main deck, a card that's completely insane against Raziel, but also, it's okay against Malice. In the mirror match, they can still do a combo that gives you 1 draw, but by playing Pirellia basically means not only are they not going to summon a Bestial, they're not going to summon a March Hare, but they also can't summon the Adignister cards unless they want to give you draws. Again, the point of these are not to go plus infinite. Really, it's just to make your opponent decide to not build the full board that they could, and whether or not other players decide to do that as well, we'll see. But for that reason, I'm still playing Ash just in case. It's a lower impact hand trap, but again, the versatility is there, so that's why I still main deck it. And after that, we have 3 copies of Imperm. Again, just generically good, but also being able to be used going second, very solid. And my favorite hand trap right now, 3 copies of Dominus Impulse, so good in the mirror, and against so many other decks in the format. But one thing to note is the Fuwalos is a wind, and the Firewall that we play in the extra deck is a light. So make sure you resolve Fuwa first, and then if you use this, you're not going to be using Firewall as part of your board. But that's it for the main deck, a solid 40. So many hand traps and extenders, and really starters as well. This deck really is staged to be one of the best decks. Now, before we hop into the extra deck, I just want to showcase some of the amazing products from Imperium Duelist that I've been using. Once again, today I'm using the SP Little Knight sleeves. These things are some of my favorites. They have a wide selection of sleeves, whether it's the Minotaurs or the tournament level sleeves, or even my favorite over sleeves come from them, the Imperium Fortress. Not only that, but Imperium Duelist was nice enough to send me one of their mats. The Warlord's Legacy Cloth playmat has been one of my favorites to use. They have all this and more, be it dice, deck boxes, you name it. Make sure you guys go check out the link down below. Plus, at checkout, if you find something you like, use code COFFEE10 at checkout. Not only does it save you 10% off your entire order, but a portion of that purchase comes back to the channel, and it helps me make content for you. But now hopping into the extra deck, we do have a couple of link ones. Again, we have the Link Rebo, just a great way to extend. If a Malice monster gets impermed or whatever, you can link it off into this, and then banish that name with one of your extenders, and there you go. Now you'll have 3 bodies to start comboing. Another cool note is in the mirror match, it stops traps, or maybe if you're trying to play around a set imperm. Very cool utility. And another addition we have now is the Almirage. I mentioned it earlier with the backup engine. By simply normal summoning a Pirellia and linking it off into Almirage, you can summon the backup from your hand and use it to add something like Dormouse, and then discard the Dormouse right away. And it's pretty straightforward after that. You'll go into Splash Mage, and then you'll bring back the name you just discarded, and full combo from there. But also another thing with the Adignister package, we have the Link Spider as well. So if at any time your opponent drops Nibiru, you can convert that token into Link Spider, and then of course now backup can summon itself and grab Wizard. But for the Link 2s, of course, we still have the Splash Mage. I actually find myself going to this a lot more now with the new cards. Before, Haggard Lizardos was the go-to card, but I'm really just trying to get the most value out of my names when they're banished, and using Lizardos early just really takes those names out of the equation. It's still nice to have in the extra deck, but another Link 2 that I'm playing now is the Cyber's Wicked. If ever a monster is special to the zone it points to, you can add a Cyber's Tuner from your deck to your hand, and then you gotta banish one of your Cybers from the grave. This potentially can not only proc the Malice cards that are in your graveyard, because again they're Cybers, but backup Adignister is a tuner, so this is the main way we're gonna search it in our combos. But after that, the last Link 2s, we have an IP, it's a Cybers, just in case you're having a bunch of hand traps thrown at you, and there are some lines that use it, and SP Little Knight, still an auto include, not only as a board breaker or an interruption with IP, but of course it can banish your own Malice names as well. But that's it for the 2s. Now moving on to our Link 3s. Of course, we're going to be playing the one White Binder, the Red Ransom, and of course the Hearts of Cryptor. Nothing really to explain here, all staple stuff, but one new addition is the Heat Soul in our extra deck. You can also be playing cards like Super Poly in the main deck to help combat other boards, including the Mirror Match. Cutting the Heat Soul and any of these cards make room for the fusion targets, but again, you could also be playing something like Typhon if you need another board breaker card, or you can even include the Detonator if you're playing Metaltronus. But the nice thing about this card is it's really great in a hand trap war. Being able to play a grind game with this card is very easy, but another notable thing is it is 2300 attack, which is going to be so relevant for our new boss monster in the extra deck. For the last couple of cards in the extra deck, we have the Axis Code Talker, again insane for OTKs and re-triggering your Malice names in the graveyard. We also have the Firewall Dragon back in the extra deck, just an amazing interruption for your end board, and the new boss monster, the Allied Code Talker Adignister. Now, not only are you going to get the full Malice combo with the Firewall Dragon, but you also get this card as well. In case you don't know what this does, on Link Summon, you can special summon as many Cybers monsters from your graveyard with exactly 2300 attack. Basically, what this means is on Summon, you're going to bring back both of your Malice Link monsters, and you can even bring back Heat Soul as well. When you do this, you can't special summon other monsters for the rest of the turn, so it's going to be the last thing you do. But one of the best parts about this card is its quick effect. During either player's turn, you contribute one of the monsters it points to not only negate the activation of a card, but banish the card as well. The card is an insane end board piece and is so crazy to play with. with, but we're about to hop into that right now, so let's do some combos. All right, so hopping right into it, this is going to be the 1-card Dormouse combo that I prefer to do when I'm going first. Again, we have so many extenders with the March Hares, the Adignisters, and even the Bystials to keep playing, but to just show you the basics of what this deck is trying to do, we'll go ahead and showcase what Dormouse does when it's uninterrupted. Starting things off, of course, we're going to normal summon the Dormouse, and we'll activate its effect. Just like the old combos, we'll banish the White Rabbit, and of course, it'll bring itself back by paying life points. And just like last time, we can now set TB11 face down. Here's where it differs a little bit. We'll go ahead and link these off. And rather than going into the Lizardos, now we're just going to go straight into our Splash Mage. And it does lock you into Cyberse, but most of the time that's pretty irrelevant, especially with all the extenders we play. We'll go ahead and use its effect to bring back Dormouse, and then right away we can link these off and go right into Red Ransom. On summon, we'll activate its effect. And one thing I commonly see people do is add the field spell and then banish the mirror, so that way you can like banish Dormouse to search the March Hare and then, you know, trigger the Dormouse effect. That's all cool, but for me personally, I really don't think you need to do that. I think we could just add the Malice and Mirror right away. We are about to fire off the TB11, so if you're worried about hand traps, maybe you grab the field spell, but again, personally, you have so much extension, even if this gets hit with something like Impulse or Ash Blossom. Oh, like I mentioned, in this case, we'll add the Malice in the Mirror, and then right away, we'll flip the TB11, banishing the Red Ransom. This, of course, will grab the Chessy Cat, and of course, the Red Ransom will bring itself back. And again, if the TB11 did get stopped, you didn't care, because this is still coming back, and on summon, it banishes a Malice card, so you can keep extending from there very easily. As mentioned, we are going to use that effect. In this case, we're actually going to banish the new Malice March Hare, and then its effect will activate to add itself back to hand, which is what makes this card so crazy. It can recycle itself over and over. Then from here, we'll go ahead and take these two bodies and now go into the new tool of our extra deck, the Cyberse Wicked. Again, we're going to use this to search our new Adignister package, but we're going to activate that March Hare. We'll banish the Chessy Cat to summon itself to the field, and then now in a new chain link, you can go chain link 1 the Wicked and chain link 2 the Chessy Cat to come back to the field. This will all resolve, and of course we have to banish a name as well in the process, but here we'll add that tuner, the backup Adignister, and in a new chain now the Dormouse will activate and summon itself to the field. At this point, we've used all our main deck Malice names, and you could get hit with Nibiru here, but as I mentioned in the profile, you don't care because you just go into Link Spider and then summon the Adignister and just go full combo from there. So again, it's very awkward to use Nibiru against this deck. I think if you had Nib, you want to wait until the Adignister has been used, but again, at that point, we'll already have most of our Malice stuff set up, so you really don't care. Right after this, though, we will take all 3 of these bodies. We'll go straight into our Hearts of Cryptor. This is going to be great because this is going to be another body that we'll bring back later, and then right away, we'll link these 2 off, go into the White Binder, and we will activate the effect on summon. We'll go ahead and banish 3. We're going to, of course, banish our Hearts of Cryptor. Also, the TB11, that way the Cryptor is live on our opponent's turn for an interruption. And me, personally, I like banishing the Dormouse as well, because believe it or not, we're about to use that Hearts of Cryptor on our turn as well. After that's all said and done, the Hearts of Cryptor will bring itself back. And now we're going to go ahead and try to use our White Binder effect to set one of the traps. And again, even if your opponent tries to Nibiru you here, you can chain Hearts of Cryptor to banish the White Binder. Again, the White Binder will come back, and then you can try to set the trap after that all resolves. The combos keep going. It's so crazy and ignorant. Again, you'll have backup as well. Another cool thing is this technically plays around like Valor as well if they were holding it for the White Binder, but here we'll get the 06, and if all that resolves, now we can go ahead and start summoning our backup cards. You could Hearts of Cryptor now, but I just like doing this now to thin the deck before we draw. This will add ourselves the Wizard on summon, and then we can discard a card. And after that resolves, now we can use that Hearts of Cryptor. We'll go ahead and put back the Dormouse, and of course we can banish the White Binder. It'll come back to the field, and then we get to draw 1 card. Again, we have basically the full Malice combo set up at this point, not only to bring back the White Binder, but it'll bring back the Cryptor as another interruption. It'll bring back the White Rabbit as another interruption. Again, you're just set up at this point, and you don't really care about Nibiru anymore. So here, we'll summon our Wizard that will also bring back a body from the grave. It doesn't really matter at this point. Then from here, we'll take one of these bodies, and of course our Link 3. Go into our Firewall Dragon, because the White Binder is now pointing to our main monster zone. And from here, we have a Link 3 plus 2 other bodies. And we can go into our new boss monster, the Allied Code Talker, and activate its effect to bring back not only our white binder, but our red ransom as well. Again, we have the hand traps and stuff as interruptions, but we'll ignore that for now. But we still have our Malice and Mirror we can set face down as another interruption. And in total, not only did you just really ignore Nibiru in this entire combo, but to sum up all the interruptions we have, obviously we have our Mirror and we have our 06, and depending on how our opponent plays out the turn, the sequencing might change. But at a bare minimum, you know you can use your 06 to bring back White Rabbit. If you used your Omni Negate with our allied Code Talker first, then of course you could just bring back the White Binder to then trigger the White Rabbit. Again, sequencing on how your opponent plays will affect how these interruptions play out, but at a bare minimum, you can grab that trap, and then of course at any time you can activate it. We can banish one of our names. This will add you follow-up for the next turn while also proccing this effect and banishing one of their cards. Your White Binder will activate. You can banish the Heart's Cryptor for another interruption, and of course rip out any of their cards from the graveyard as well. Heart's Cryptor will now return to the field at any time you have another banish by putting back the TB11. Again, you have an effect negation with the Mirror. You can banish whatever other name you haven't banished yet. The Imperium will negate something, and then of course the name will come back to the field. And again, this will banish a March Hare and also grab you more follow-up with the field spell, and the March Hare will add itself to hand. You have so many cards at your disposal after all this. And of course, you have the Omni Negate with your Adignister by tributing one of these, and the Firewall can bounce up to 3 cards right now at this moment. It's very rare that you'll need to bounce 3 of your opponent's cards, but don't forget you can bounce the cards in your graveyard as well. Whether it's recycling maybe a hand trap that you discarded off of the Adignisters, or just recycling your extra deck cards in the process of bouncing their card. That way you have more potential to crack boards on the next turn. Really, the sky's the limit on how you use the Firewall Dragon. Oh, and I guess I forgot to mention when the White Binder came back, you technically got to draw another card in the process as well. Who knows, maybe more hand traps, more Abyss Steals, you name it. This deck is so annoying to have to play into, and which is why you've even seen cards like Super Poly in the main deck now for the OCG. So that's going to wrap things up for today's video. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support. Once again, make sure you guys go check out Imperium Duelist. They have so many different things for you guys to choose from. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have so many other post-Alliance Insight profiles coming out. But once again, here's hoping to see you guys in the next one. Peace.